तो वो संकल्प को मैं उसूलों के आधार पर समर्थन करता हूं, लेकिन मुझे पता नहीं है कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी कितना इसको समर्थन करेंगे, क्योंकि आप अगर मंत्रिमंडल को देखें, उत्तराखंड से 5 बीजेपी के एमपी चुने गए, उसमें 2 भूतपूर्व मुख्यमंत्री हैं, निशांत जी और खंडूर जी। 3 खंडूरी जी, निशांत जी और कौन? कोश्यारी जी। अच्छा, हिमाचल से 4 बीजेपी के सदस्य चुने हैं सर। इस 9 में 1 को भी मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल नहीं किया गया। तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी कितना हिमालय को प्यार करते, मुझे तो ये देख के पता नहीं चल रहा। शायद वो बता सकेंगे। अगर हिमालयन स्टेट पर एक मिनिस्ट्री बने, शायद निशांत जी को वहां पर जगह मिले, इसके लिए वो क्षेत्र प्रस्तुत किए हैं। पर ठीक है, मैं इसको समर्थन करता हूं। थोड़ा चेंज मैं करने चाहता हूं। एक तो है वो बताए हैं कि हिमालयन स्टेट्स, तो मैं कहने चाहता हूं कि हिमालयन एरियाज होने से अच्छा होता, क्योंकि हमारा जैसा पश्चिम बंगाल है, यहां पर दार्जिलिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट है जो हिमालय से जुड़ा हुआ है, बट दार्जिलिंग पूरा पश्चिम बंगाल के अंग है। अगर हिमालयन मिनिस्ट्री बनेगा तो दार्जिलिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट को भी उसमें शामिल किया जाएगा, बट दार्जिलिंग एज पार्ट ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल, अलग से नहीं। तो मैं चाहता हूं कि मैं अमेंडमेंट देने चाहा, लेकिन बोला टाइम बाद 1 दिन पहले देना चाहिए था, इसलिए नहीं कर पाए। मेरे ख्याल में निशांत जी इसको मान लीजिए। और दूसरा, उन्होंने अंग्रेजी में जो आया है, हम तो हिंदी उतना अच्छा पढ़ता नहीं हूं, हैविंग रिगार्ड टू स्ट्रेटेजिक जियोग्राफिकल कंडीशन, व्हाट ही हैज एक्चुअली मेंट इज जियोलॉजिकल कंडीशन, नॉट द जियोग्राफिकल कंडीशन। क्योंकि जो उन्होंने डिस्क्राइब किया, आप जानते हैं, उन्होंने बताया कि हिमालय इज ए यंग माउंटेन। क्या होता है माउंटेन का नीचे सर, आप जानते होंगे कि जमीन का नीचे टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स होता है, और ये टेक्टोनिक प्लेट का जब शिफ्ट होता है तब अर्थक्वेक्स होता है। हिमालयस आर फॉर्म्ड ऑन टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स, सो दे आर प्रोन टू earthquakes, landslides, etc. Because they are relatively new mountains, they are older. Now, let me speak a few words about the Himalayas. Himalayas are one of the longest mountain ranges in the world, though not the longest. Andes is a much longer, almost 4,000 miles in Latin America. Rocky Mountains are much longer, starting from the top to bottom of North America. Himalayas are roughly 1,500 miles long. If you start from west of Kashmir, it extends right up to Arunachal, around 1,500 miles. And what are the states falling in the Himalayan ranges? We have Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal, Uttarakhand. Then as you come, then it becomes China. Then you come Darjeeling areas of West Bengal. Then Arunachal Pradesh. And of course Sikkim. These are the 6 states which are directly connected to the Himalayan ranges. He has mentioned Mizoram. Mizoram and all do not have any Himalayan ranges. Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, they are small, small hills which are not connected to the Himalayas. These are connected to the main body of the Himalayas. Now let us look at how the Himalaya, on the northwest, we have the Gilgit areas. These are occupied, Indian territories occupied by Pakistan. Gilgit and what is known as northern areas. And the Chinese have built a Karakoram highway through Gilgit and the northern areas. Then you have got Ladakh, which is part of Himalaya, and Ladakh borders on Aksai Chin and China. Then Uttarakhand has got border with Tibet, that is China. Himachal, in the Kinnaur district, they have got border with China. West Bengal's hill areas have border with Nepal, Bhutan, and Sikkim. Sikkim at Nathula has border with China, and Arunachal has border with China. So strategically, this is, as Nishantji has correctly pointed out, this is very important. China has already occupied territory in the Himalayan areas, and Pakistan in occupied Kashmir, they have already given some areas away to China. So strategically, it is very important to develop the Himalayas to ensure our safety. Lekin I did not like Nishantji's approach. That is the BJP approach. He is trying to equate development of Himalayas with Hindutva, making all symbols, Ganga हमारी माँ है, ये सब बोल के गंगा को हम कोई उन्नति नहीं कर सकते. You have to take it from a scientific view. केवल माँ बोलने से होता है नहीं. What have we done to Ganga? In Uttarakhand, Nishantji, you were chief minister. What has happened? Why was there so bad floods in Ganga? When the cloudburst took place above Kedarnath, the dam of the lake broke. Then on the rivers, hundreds of houses were swept away. Why? Because you have built houses on the floodplains of river, Alakananda, Mandakini, and Ganga. You have built houses. Rivers must be allowed to expand geologically. They have got floodplains. And because of our greed and because of callousness of governments, we have allowed people to build on the floodplains of Ganga. That is why there was so much devastation caused in the Uttarakhand floods. Thousands of people were killed. Millions, hundreds of crores of rupees property were lost. Now it is time to take care of the Himalayas instead of calling Ganga Ma, or Hindutva, or Ayurveda and all that. Take a scientific approach. आपको मैं अनुरोध करूंगा, you read D.N. Wadia's book. D.N. Wadia was a geologist based in Dehradun. And he was the world famous expert on Himalayan geology. Himalayan geology is a very deep branch of geology which one has to understand to follow what is the way to save the Himalayas. Now, as he has mentioned, that the Himalayas in Uttarakhand give birth to so many rivers. He has mentioned Ganga, Jamuna. We have got Gangotri and Jamunotri. But not only in Uttarakhand. Why? From Ladakh. Indus, which is also called Sindhu, that has emanated. Strangely enough, you did not mention Sindhu once. But Advaniji, since he is from Sindh, started the Sindhu Darshan in Ladakh. आपको बात में एक बार भी सिंधु नहीं आया. और all rivers are great. No river is holy. Rivers are lifelines of nation. They provide irrigation, they provide transportation, they are lifeblood of our economies. And as one poet Nazrul wrote, Nazrul Islam, he was a Muslim, not a follower of Hindutva. He said, Ganga, Sindhu, Narmada, Kaveri, Jamuna, Oi, Bohia, Choleche, Ager Moton, Koire, Ager, Manush. All these are great rivers. In Nazrul's poem, for rhyme's sake, he left Godavari out. He said Ganga, Sindhu, Narmada, Kaveri, and Jamuna. So all the rivers are very important. But Ganga is special in the sense it is a perennial river. Sara Sal, हाँ बोलिए ना. सिंधु के बारे में बोलने नहीं. To say is that a fresh study of the whole Himalayan areas, of the floodplains, of the position of the tectonic plates, of how much to construct in which hill area should be freshly determined, because this way the Himalayas will be in a disaster, and we are waiting for a disaster to happen in Himalayas. The other thing that has happened, Nishankji will know, massive deforestation. The trees have been cut mercilessly throughout the Himalayas, particularly in Uttarakhand. He has mentioned Ramdev. Baba Ramdev has done nothing to preserve environment. He has started selling Ayurvedic drugs from his Haridwar ashram. I know it's a profitable business. There is some controversy. I don't want to go in. He should have mentioned Sundarlal Bahuguna, the man with a beard who started the Chipko movement. He said, when people come, contractors come to cut the trees, hold them tight, Chipko outside. And he did more to raise consciousness about Himalayas than anybody did. Nishankji's Hindutva-oriented speech left out Sundarlal Bahuguna, the environmental part of it, the scientific part of it. Oh, jari butiya hai. Arey, jari butiya can be used only when you use them as phytochemicals in a modern way. कब हमारा ऋषि का ज्ञान था, उससे तो आज का दवाई नहीं बनेगा. उसके लिए जरूरत है that वहां जो जड़ी बूटियां मिलता है उससे साइंटिफिक रिसर्च करें और ठीक से दवाई निकले. सारा दुनिया कर रहा है. हम लोग अभी पुराने जड़ी बूटियां, बाबा रामदेव ये सब कर रहे, ऐसे हिमालय को बचाया नहीं जा सकता. मैं और ये भी मैं कहने चाहता हूं कि हिमालय केवल हिंदुओं को नहीं है. मैं तो एज बॉर्न हिंदू, हम भी, हमारे बंगाली लोग.
एक मिनट प्रोफेसर साहब.
भूतपूर्व मुख्यमंत्री जी मेरे भाषण से कुछ बोलने का उनको मौका मिला. मैं ये कह रहा था कि आप देखिए, हिमालय का किनार केवल हिंदू नहीं रहते हैं. मैं तो हिंदू हूं, लेकिन लद्दाख पूरा बुद्धिस्ट है, सिक्किम पूरा बुद्धिस्ट है, यहाँ हमारा विंसेंट पाला है, मेघालय से क्रिश्चियन है. तो उसके साथ गंगा या हिमालय से कोई हिंदुत्व का जोग नहीं. आप जो कर रहे हैं कि गंगा को बचाएंगे और ज्यादा, अरे भाई ये सब लोगों का है. आप बनारसी को बचाने चाहते हैं. वाराणसी में जितना हिंदू रहते हैं उतना मुसलमान रहते हैं. वो दोनों ही हमारा परंपरा के भाग है. आप क्यों मुल्क को बटा रहे हैं? सर, सर इसलिए दैट इज व्हाई I want to say that let a Ministry of Himalayan Affairs be formed. Not Ministry for Himalayan States, but a Ministry for Himalayan Affairs, which will take into account everything. Himalaya, its geological needs, its environmental needs, its water needs, its power needs, and make a holistic plan for the Himalayas. It is unfortunate कि आजादी के 66 साल बाद we have such a wealth of Himalaya. But Himalaya is not only for the poet. Sir, we used to read Kalidas in Kumar Sambham, where he has described, which as translated into Bengali it reads, Shudur urdhe oi shurodham, sporshi tahare Himalaya nam, Raje Giriraj Mohamohidar, Bapi Uttarakhand. That is close to, but that is Kalidas's poet's imagination. Bengali poets have always been attracted to Himalayas. Tagore has written any number of poems, and he used to spend, his father, Devendranath Tagore, used to spend a lot of time in the Himalayas. You know, Swami Vivekananda, when he was touring around the country, he went to Almora and sat there in meditation. Then he went into Mayabati, right in the forest. And Mayabati he opened one Advaita Ashram. निशांत जी, मुझे पता नहीं कि हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट हुआ कि नहीं. हमारा एक राइटर थे प्रबोध सान्याल, उन्होंने 2 किताब लिखा, एक का नाम है महाप्रस्थाने पथे, that is the way to Kedar. The other thing is, he wrote a book called Devotatma Himalaya. And there was a writer who was Sir Ashutosh's son, Uma Prasad Mukherjee. He is known all over Himalaya. Even in a small chatty, people used to know him. He has written a book called Himalaya Pothe Pothe. Sir, almost 100 years ago, almost 100 years ago, one Bengali writer called Jalodhar Sen, he wrote a book on Himalayas. So Himalayas have had a great fascination for Bengalis. Even last month, one Bengali lady, Chanda Gayan, she climbed the Kanchenjunga. Then she wanted to get up on the associated peak. But then she was lost. We have not found her body yet. That is the magic the Himalayas still hold for us. So let us take a larger plan for Himalayas. But the unfortunate thing, if you go up the Himalayas, you see it's so beautiful. But people there are so poor. Koi sadak nahi hai, sir. When you go to a village, there is no road. There is enormous natural resource. We have not exploited that at all. Himalayas can be source of the biggest hydroelectric power in the world. But we have one Tehri Dam and one dam in Himachal Pradesh. But hundreds of such mini hydel projects can be built on the Himalayas. And the Himalayas would be ideal for modern industries, for making computers, electronic goods, for watches. Look at what Switzerland has achieved. Last year or year before, I went to Switzerland. Alps is, sir, only 15,000 feet high. How they have exploited the Alps. First you see the Rhine falls in Switzerland. Then you go up to 14,000 feet. You know what I discovered there, sir? Everything written in Hindi. Because every year, our Bombay people are going to Switzerland to take films. They do not go to the Himalayas because there is no infrastructure. There are no facilities. In Alps, when we were going up the mountain, we saw hundreds of people doing skiing, winter sports. There is a place called Aula, where kuch winter sports hua, Gulmarg mein kuch winter, but this can be developed in a big way. Sir, what is needed is forward thinking. Unfortunately, all our politicians are concerned in the Himalayan areas about small things. There has been no big time thinking about Himalayas. In West Bengal, in the Darjeeling areas, our state government is doing a great job. It's the only place where a demand for a separate state has been subdued because of the development carried out by the government led by Mamata Banerjee. We have been able to subdue a totally divisive secessionist movement. But the point is, ye kyun? Dusra, Himalayas, in Sikkim, they have done great work. If you go there, the Prime Minister was mentioning that day that Sikkim is the first organic state in the country. No inorganic fertilizer used there. So that is a great achievement. So isko sab ek jagah karna hai. ये बहुत अच्छा निशांक जी, मंत्री तो आप नहीं बने, लेकिन अपने जगह पर आप फेथफुल रहे और आते ही ये हिमालय के बाद आपने सामने लाया. In this house, we discussed the Uttarakhand flood. You are not there at that time in the 15th Lok Sabha. And we discussed how human greed has destroyed the Uttarakhand plains, and unless the Border Roads Organization, Army and Air Force were there, we are proud of them, how many thousand more people would have been killed and not rescued? That's a question to ask. I was in the Defense Consultative Committee. I constantly ask this army people, what are you doing about roads up to the Chinese border? Would you believe, sir, the Chinese have built a railway line from Beijing to Lhasa, and from Lhasa right up to Arunachal Pradesh border. Right up to Arunachal Pradesh. Bomdila would be only 30 miles from there. Tawang would be only 30 miles from there. Here is our friend from Arunachal. We have not been able to construct a railway line. तो ये सब अर्जेंट है सर, तो इसलिए मैं फिर उनका प्रस्ताव समर्थन करता हूं। मुझे यही कहना है कि हिमालय को डेवलप करिए, इससे हिंदुत्व निकाल दीजिए, रामदेव वाला बात निकाल दीजिए। आइए सब मिलके, हिंदू, मुसलमान, बौद्ध, क्रिश्चियन, सब लोग मिलके हम लोग एक देवतात्मा हिमालय सर बनाए। ये बोल के मैं अपना भाषण